Hey, what's up? I'm Killer Mike, also known as Michael Render. One day I'm gonna be mayor of this city. Right now, I'm just a semi-stone rapper on Butter.ATL. I remember coming home from school every day. I lived in the Collier Heights. And when you live in the Collier Heights, Atlantans community, just to be frank, it's, if you have Little Odessa in New York, you have the Russian community there, you have Chinatown, the Chinese community there, you have K-Town in LA. I grew up in a version of that, and that where I grew up on the West Side, there weren't any white folks, to be frank, until you went up to Jackson Parkway more, maybe, or out to Austell. So it was an all Black enclave. So my first interaction with, people outside my race in terms of white folks was PBS. And luckily, before I met any people with hate or bigotry in their heart, I met people like Mr. Rogers and people like the folks on the electric company. I met the cast of Sesame Street. So as a Black child growing up, it meant a lot to me watching Bob Ross, being in love with painting. It gave me a view into a community that was not necessarily like mine, but I got a chance to see people were just like me, regardless of race or ethnicity. So just to be honest, the channel meant a lot to me. So getting an opportunity to do a show there that did as much for me as watching Charlie Rose talk to Jay-Z, or Tavis Smiley, talk to some of the civil rights icons that I'd grown up right next to, like a John Lewis or Andy Young. It meant the world to me to be that guy. I want to be somebody's Fred Rogers, I want to be somebody's, an introduction to a different way to look at, an African-American man, husband, dad, rapper, and I think that this is a great way to do it. People have known Killer Mike for almost 20 years now. And I feel like people are just getting to know Michael Render. And Michael Render is the little boy who went to the Collier Heights from Frederick Douglass and raised by Betty Cluntz and, Willie Sherwood. And Michael Render was not allowed to overtalk people. He was not allowed to, he was to be studious and on task and to use his vocabulary well. And I think that in the studios, I know in the studios, there's a camera that's named for my grandmother, a camera that's named for my mother, and a camera that's named for my art teacher, living art teacher, Mr. Murray. And I try to represent in a way that they would want me to, and in a way that I've been, trained that once you off the stage, you off work, you just Michael, and you should engage people that way. So. The ability to converse with someone that you may or may not agree with, you may be on the same side of the street with or not, it's something that's being lost now in the polarization of how people see it. It's like people join tribes, like you answer to my tribe or you belong to my tribe or else. And I was just kind of over that. I like learning. So, when people say, well, things or you know the most esoteric little things, because I listen to people a lot, So I just like conversing with people, period. Even on the pushback, I can't say you won't see any pushback on my show, but my show is based and comes from a place of love and respect, meaning that I'm going to engage you lovingly and respectfully. I wish to be engaged that way. And I'm just trying to make sure that we don't lose the art of conversation in our society, because we're very good at talking at each other. We're very good at being condescending and satirical even to each other, but we've lost the ability to really converse. And that's what I wish to keep alive. I don't want to be another polarizing agent. I wish to be an agent that acts like thread to fabric in a quilt. And a quilt is made of all type of different scraps. It's whatever you got. But by the time your great grandmother finished sewing it together, it's the warmest blanket in the house. So I wish to be a part of that thread in my community and beyond. Find an individual that's not like you, not of your race, ethnicity, that does not believe the same things you do, and build a real relationship. Because it's amazing how simple conversations and exposure to other people can grow you. My higher aspirations is getting stoned after this interview. I don't know what really is going to happen in the future, but I know that I love being a part of a community where a woman like my grandmother, who was a nurse, she was a community organizer in her neighborhood unit, could get to the phone call, could get a phone call into the mayor within 6 phone calls. I'd like for Atlanta to keep that spirit. I do not want Atlanta to become a place where we have a political oligarchy that's so detached from the regular common man that we just suffer in silence as those people throw their balls and merry gallows. I just want to be a part of keeping Atlanta a city of opportunity. My grandmother moved here in 1950. I think my grandpa got here maybe 40, 42. And they were able to build a life that cornerstoned the ability for me and my sisters, who they raised, have something, and our grandchildren are going to have something. And I wish for, as Atlanta opens more, all my homies that have moved here from LA and Oakland and Frisco, all my homies that have moved down from California, Chicago, Texas, these people that have come here and opened businesses. And when I say open business, it's not like I just open business, I'm a millionaire, I'm the man now. But you open a business and you provide 40, 50 jobs. Jovita was like everybody's sister, auntie, to the OGs. Everybody want to be wife and girlfriend. Like Jovita Moore, it was amazing. She was brilliant. She brought such an enthusiasm and a high vibrating energy into any room she walked in. She treated rappers with the same dignity and respect she treated politicians with. That's a rarity. You know what I'm saying? That sister she was ours, man. And it's they say F cancer. You hate that any type of cancer, it takes good people away. So we're very saddened by our loss. This city, she was one of the people in this city that, much like a Monica Kaufman before her, much like a Mike Robertson, Carol Blackman from back in the days, much like a Alley Pat, she really was a unifier of the city. So, again, a piece of that thread that weaves this tapestry together into a quilt, we're gonna miss her. But she was just loved. And I'm glad everybody got a chance when we first found out about her diagnosis to let her know she was loved, so that she didn't leave, wondering or not knowing, and she is sorely missed. So we got a powerhouse lineup of people, but I can honestly say what made me most proud about doing it is when I call someone like a Shaq and say, Shaq, you'll do the show? And he's like, come on, big dog. I'll do anything for you, big dog, And it comes off the reputation of people know that I have good intentions. I'm not trying to do gotcha moments. And I really care culturally that some kid come home from school, turns on that show, and gets an opportunity to see someone that inspires him. I look forward to 40-some odd shows where you'll see everybody from the very, very famous and well-known, and then just a very, very interesting that may be a little more esoteric. I'm very excited about it because these are people who actually inspire me and are much the reason I don't give up, and I'm interested in sharing that with the world. I think you need to watch Love and Respect on PBA on Fridays and on Revolt on Mondays, because the other 6 days of the week, all you get is hate, bullshit, and bloodshed.
That's all I need. Hey, that's good night, folks. We're going to get the fuck out of here.
Love.
You can say fucking Thank you, big bro, man.
Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all patience with me too, man.